Hey guys, today I'm going to be going over on how I edited this GTR photo. So I get requests like many every single day on how I edit my photos, if I can make a tutorial. So I'm just going to do this one. If you guys like it, I'll do more. But basically, I'm just going to try to do this as quick as I can. Alright, now I'm switching over to a voiceover because my computer started overheating and then it basically just canceled out all the sound that I had before. So right here I'm just adjusting the temperature, and then I go down into the tint. Alright, we're going to be adjusting the exposure. I shoot pretty much how I see it. I don't really underexpose or overexpose unless it's super bright. Turn the contrast up. That's pretty much how I do it on all my images. I like a decent amount of contrast unless it's super bright out. I'll turn the contrast down a little bit. We're going to throw it on the highlights. We're going to be bringing up the shadows quite a bit. From there, it looks like we pulled up our whites, and I'm hitting the option and then pressing up on the whites and just seeing where the clipping is, seeing where everything basically looks best. Alright, here we're going to be turning down the blacks, and we are doing the same thing, pressing option, then pressing down on the blacks and finding out where the clipping is on that as well. We're just going to bring it a little bit more down. Now we're going to be turning up the clarity. Okay, not going to do anything with dehaze. We're going to go over to vibrance now. We're going to be turning that up a little bit, and then when it comes to saturation, we're just going to be turning it up slightly. Alright, now we're getting into tone curve. With tone curve, every image is pretty different. I like to start with an S curve. Kind of did an S curve right here. Kind of just did like my own type of thing like I do on all my images. I don't really have any like secret tips or anything with tone curve. It's just tweak it as much as you can until you get what you're looking for. A lot of people are scared to use the tone curve. It really changes your image a ton. It adds a lot of contrast to your image, or just really whatever you want. You could even do color tone curves, and even just tweak the colors even more from here. I pulled up the blacks at the very end a little bit. I'm going to be pulling down the whites and just kind of getting the sky, the highlights, kind of more balanced and even. And that's just kind of what I tend to go for in a lot of my images. But yeah, as you can see, I'm just tweaking with it. I do this for a sec, just try to figure out what I like best, and a little before and after. Now we're going to be going into HSL, which is hue, saturation, and luminance. So we're going to start up here with our hue, and we're just going to be messing with the colors. This really is where my color grading comes in, where I just tweak the image to however I took the image, however I want the image to look, and that's basically where it comes in with our HSL. Hue is basically showing the type of color it is. It's hard to explain. I'll do a whole video on HSL and split toning and all that kind of stuff. Right here we're just brightening the reds to get the accents of the car and the tail lights. A little bit more red. Turned up the oranges a little bit. Trying to find a good balance with the yellows because there's a lot of yellow in the building. There's a lot of yellow in the grass. Went over to the greens, pulled up the greens a little bit. I didn't want to overpower the greens, but I did want it kind of a center focus of the image. So we're going to keep going. We're going to bring the blues down a little bit. There's not a lot of blues inside this image, so we don't really need to mess with them that much. I always turn the blues down though, unless it's a blue car, obviously. We're going to go into luminance, and we're going to be messing with the reds, which really makes, I think the tail lights and the accents of the car are a huge part of the image, and it really draws your eye, so you really want those reds looking nice. We slammed the blues all the way down, and now we're into split toning. So basically when I split tone, I turn the saturation up a little bit on our highlights, and then I use the hue to find what looks good, what balance I like. Then from there I usually go into our shadows, and I like to turn the shadow saturation, I like to turn that up quite a bit, and then go and try to find that perfect, or at least what I think is my interpretation of how I want the image to look. Then I go into balance and find a nice balance in between. And I'll be doing a whole video on split toning and HSL, like I said, teaching you about like balance, highlights and shadows, and how split toning could really change the whole entire way you color grade an image. We're going to turn the sharpness up. If you go and do the same thing, option, and then hold the masking, in either way it shows you basically a outline mask of what's sharp and what is not, or what's getting the most amount of effect on that image. Remove chromatic aberration. Then we're going to go down into our color calibration, which is something a lot of people skip over when they're doing an image. But first, it looks like we're doing vignetting. Do a slight vignette on the image, and then now we are on to color calibration. I'm going to turn up the purple or pinks, whatever you want to call it, on the shadows. Going to do some slight saturation on the green primary, and then the blue primary. Going to be tweaking the hue on that. And that's what our image looks like so far. So this image, the car was super dirty when I shot it. It was just a really rainy day, and that's just kind of how everything came out. So that's basically, I mean, it's not my best image for sure. It's just something that I found that I could do a quick little tutorial on. Here we're going to be doing the brush tool. We're going to lighten the car up a little bit, also bring up the whites and the shadows, and just really lighten it up. We're kind of going to go overboard on this, just so I can basically see what I'm doing. I mean, you can just press O and see. I'll outline it in red or whatever color you set it to. Went a little bit over there, so we're going to erase that. Bring down the highlights and really just try to get, because I mean, a little bit of the white's blown out now. So we're just going to go fix that on the back of the car and then on the side of the car. And this is what we're doing here on the side of the car. We're just going to go pretty heavy, bringing the highlights down on the side, and then we're kind of going to overdo it on the back, so we're going to bring it up a little bit, and then there we go. Now we're going to be doing the diffuser and basically all the red accents and all that kind of stuff except for the taillights, because we want to brighten this up. This is something that the owner, you know, put into his car that he wants shown off. This is what my client wants, so we're going to be bringing this detail out, and it adds a ton to the car. I mean, it's a very aggressive diffuser. Might as well brighten it up and show it, you know. Huge exhaust tips. This GTR is crazy. I have a video of it up on my page. I mean, the thing rips. It's insane. Alright, let's see what we did from here. Looks like we brightened a little bit on the wheels, added some clarity to them. Just kind of brightened some stuff up. Like I said, this is just a quick little edit, just putting me on the spot, just trying to get my technique on editing out there, basically, on how I do it. And how I do it, I'm not saying it's the right way to do it at all. This is just how I do it. I might be doing things wrong, I might be doing things right. You know, I'm doing it how I see fit. I'm doing it how I do it. So yeah, right here we're going to be bringing clarity up on the ground. This video is already getting long, so I would have just brushed the car and took away some of the clarity on the back of the car, because we're really just trying to bring the clarity up on the ground. I'm going to be doing the same on the sky. Going to be adding a little bit of color to the sky, as the sky was pretty just overcast and gloomy. And that's it. That's our before and after. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Follow me on Instagram at Summit.Ss. I'm going to be posting videos like this more frequently if you guys end up liking this. This is just super simple, super quick, just a little edit tutorial video, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, thank you guys, I appreciate it.